Hello guys, welcome back to another video here on Bitcoin. I want to start with analyzing here the halving. A lot of people have asked me what my outlook for the halving is. So here each line is the previous halving for Bitcoin. So we can see here after each halving it has led to a huge rally on Bitcoin. But we can see here for not the first time, but you can see here we have had rallies before the halving. But if we check for the last bull market, we actually had dump before the halving. So right now we're in a very unique position because the halving actually starts now in about 12 hours from the time you're watching this video, but we already have had a huge rally. So I do think the halving will be bullish for Bitcoin, but I don't expect such a big price movement yet. And this is what worries me because the whole world is right now talking about the halving. So if we're gonna get this is a big question mark for me. I do think Bitcoin is going to 90,000 as I've been covering, but I don't think we're going to get some impulsive, very big bull market because I do think already half the bull market has happened. So I do think Bitcoin can still do something like this and then drop. But historically speaking, halving is very good because it reduces inflation for Bitcoin and it makes it more difficult for miners to mine. But usually when the halving happens, we usually get a small pullback afterwards because that's when a lot of miners need to start selling Bitcoin to have enough money to continue to mine more Bitcoin, because basically their salary is going to drop. What they earn, what their mine is going to be only half of what they used to get now. So if we come here, we're still inside this pitchfork here on the bigger time frame. If we come here to this chart, right now Bitcoin looks very good. If you come here on the daily, as I've been talking for a long time, I do think we're in a fourth wave. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, if we take from the first wave here to the third wave, we have a perfect bottom at the 0.31. You that follow me, people, you know this is my favorite Fibonacci. This is the only Fibonacci I'm using. You can see we have a perfect bounce here. So far the technicals look very good on Bitcoin. The only thing that worries me is a bit that a lot of people are already super bullish. The banks have bought, the retailers have bought, mass media is talking about Bitcoin. There's not too many people left to buy, and usually it's the banks that dump on retailers. So usually when you see on social media a lot of big accounts talking about it's time to buy Bitcoin or to buy this crypto, that's usually when the banks are ready to start offloading their positions. So we're in the late stages in my opinion, but from a technical perspective, I do think Bitcoin is going to start trending higher in the next 3 months here. And my final target has been this pitchfork here at around 90,000. Right now it's changing a bit because the longer it takes, the higher it will go. So let's say we'll reach the top in July. That would be actually exactly 100,000. So personally, I'm just showing you what I'm looking at right now. As long as we can hold this low here, I do think the bottom is in. Also, if you come here on the 2 hour, this is a small trade I took in the VIP. So first I found a major low and then I tried to find lows here on Bitcoin. So for example, you can see here we entered in the VIP. And just riding this price icon. Currently we're in profits. Hopefully the price can stay here above, maybe do some sideways and continue higher. Something to keep in mind is the weekend is now coming ahead. Usually the weekends market tends to drop or to go sideways. Very rarely we get pumps during weekends. So that's just something to keep in mind. So overall, even though the low is in, we can still do some more sideways as we've been doing before, then we'll go higher. Because if we look at the total altcoin market cap here, we have this perfect bounce here from the low side I've been talking about, more sideways as I also said, and I do expect the next move is gonna be higher. So we still have the 0.31 here, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave is gonna come here for altcoins. So overall, total altcoin market cap looks very bullish to me still. Ethereum as well. I'm even more, actually my favorite chart is Ethereum. That's the one that looks the best in my opinion. So if we come here on the Ethereum, we're still inside this major pitchfork here. Ethereum hasn't reached its target up here. We had 3 red weeks in a row on Ethereum, so I do think we're due for some green weeks, and I do think Ethereum is building up momentum to start the final fifth wave here before we go to around 48, 4900 on Ethereum. Somebody asked me to cover NEAR. NEAR is one of my favorites right now. I'm still in the long position. As you know, here on the weekly, we took from the lows here to the highs. We entered at the 0.31. Here on the 4 hour, we can see we're now climbing back inside the pitchfork. We're right above, we're above this line here. So as long as NEAR can stay here, we might come and retest it a bit more before we're gonna fly, because you can see here we had a very nice supply zone here that's actually been tested multiple times. We're actually broken through it even. So just a small push on NEAR, and actually a lot of altcoins look like this. Just NEAR is one of the stronger ones. A small push higher here, there's an empty volume gap. All this is basically empty volume gap. So as long as we can come here, get a close above, I do think NEAR is gonna start rallying higher very, very soon. So overall, super bullish altcoins, still slightly bullish Bitcoin, as long as we can hold the lows. But I do think we're gonna see higher prices. But we have to be careful now. The halving might cause some volatility. My guess is that we will see some selling pressure when the halving starts, but it shouldn't be too much. Then lastly, I want to cover Uni. Somebody asked me to cover Uniswap today. Uniswap is very interesting because it's dropped a lot. But if you come here on the weekly time frame, this is the pitchfork I've been having for Uniswap. You can see here in the past weeks, Uniswap went from the highs here all the way down to 64% drop, which is quite insane. So right now you can see algorithms are trying to hold the price here. As long as we can stay inside this pitchfork, I'm still bullish. I have a very hard time thinking that Uni can climb back here to the median line because we had such a big drop. This would be like 300%, but I do think Uniswap can come up to this line here again. So as long as Bitcoin starts trending higher, I do think Uni has a possibility to go back to 16. So here could be a low risk, high reward buying opportunity for Uni. We're also sitting here on a weekly demand zone. So you can see here, we have a very nice demand zone here on the weekly time frame for Uniswap. So as long as we can hold these lows here, I do see higher prices. Overall, of course, it looks like a dead coin because when it's very nice pump and then just a huge dump here on Uniswap. So that's my outlook. Personally, I'm holding some Uniswap, but not too much. But if you would like to play this move, you can throw some money on it because of course it has a big potential to go much higher. Technically, we're still inside this pitchfork, so the median line is still in play. You never know what's going to happen in crypto. But overall, we can come back here on the Bitcoin chart. As I've been saying, we have to remember how we had this crazy move up here on Bitcoin. For over a year now, basically, Bitcoin has been in an uptrend. So right now we're in the late stages. Technically, it looks like a very good fourth wave here, this sideways movement. But we need to hold these lows. If Bitcoin starts coming below these lows, I'm going to flip bearish, at least for some short term. But overall, we're still inside this pitchfork. We can also add the extra lines here. So we have these two lines you can see here. Bitcoin bounced from this line here. The next resistance is going to be this line up here. Once we come back up, this line here can get a close, then I'm going to be very bullish again on Bitcoin and think it's going to be super high probability to reach the median line. I still think we're going to reach the median line, just Bitcoin is a lot to climb, so we're gonna need a lot of new money flowing into Bitcoin, it needs to push Bitcoin at least 50% up, which can be a crazy amount of money. But hopefully the halving can help us at least in the long term. So my estimated target is around 3 to 4 months before Bitcoin is gonna top, and that's when you want to exit all your positions. So please subscribe, leave a like because I do post late daily, and make sure to join my Discord link down below.
Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals.